Hi, I'm Michael Patterson, and we're talking about better brains by design, how we can go about purposefully and mindfully designing the plasticity or influencing the plasticity of our brains to create better brains, sharper minds. And we've talked about developing specific strategies, customized strategies that are for each individual and that really reflect each individual's needs and circumstances. But there are certain areas that we think are important for everybody to look at and to think about when they're developing strategies. And one of these is the area that I'll call positivity, for want of a better term, but it really reflects this whole idea of positive attitudes towards life in general. And possibly one of the best ways of summarizing this whole area is to excuse me, point out Barbara Fredrickson, who is one of the leading lights in the world of positive psychology. She's out of North Carolina, has developed a fairly influential theory called the broaden and build theory. And what this theory tries to do is look at, from an evolutionary perspective, what is the purpose of negative emotions, and then more importantly for this concept, what is the evolutionary importance of positive emotions. Why do we have positive, altruistic, kind, loving, compassionate emotions? It has been fairly easy for the field to figure out the purpose of negative emotions. When we are threatened, when we feel fearful, we need to sort of fight back and protect ourselves and so on. So the function of negative emotions has been fairly obvious. But why should we be kind? Why should we go out of our way to help somebody else when there seems to be no particular benefit to us? Fredrickson's broaden and build theory says essentially, and they've been able to look at this actually in terms of what's going on in the brain, that when we have negative emotions, it narrows our focus. It really sort of hones in what's the threat, how do we deal with it, and it's sort of very quick, automatic, focused attention and focused activities to solve that problem, get it out of the way, and then get back to a stable position. What they're finding now is that positive emotions have a different function. Positive emotions actually broaden one's expanse. They open up the mind to where you can begin to think about different activities. One of the discussions about creativity, the human mind is an incredibly creative mind, but we sometimes function in automatic mode and routines. Those are very important, but we also then have to be able to switch over to where we can be much more creative. And one of the ways that this is discussed is in this same sort of framework of routines tend to narrow your focus, but when you're being creative, you're opening your mind up and you're looking for remote associations is one of the things that they're called, different connections that you might not have noticed if you were focused. So according to Barbara Fredrickson's theory, this broaden and build, positive emotions are there to broaden us up. And what that does is it allows us to be creative, and we develop long-term strategies. Negative emotions focus on short-term strategies, sort of survival. Positive emotions open us up to where we can develop cognitive strategies, feeling strategies, action strategies, thought strategies that in the long term are going to make us fitter to where we can actually sort of function in the environment better because we have better cognitive strategies. So positivity in that sense, the whole idea of engaging in positive emotions, aside from doing good from a social point of view, from a cognitive point of view, what it does is open our brains up, expands our sort of purview and what we will consider, and prepares us in the long term by helping us to create what we call feeling, action, thought repertoires.